Well, welcome back. More than likely, if you're here listening, it's because you are a recovering people pleaser and you're looking for simple, actionable tools to help you to decrease anxiety, decrease cortisol, increase peace, increase confidence, and just overall feel better. And if that is you, you are going to absolutely love today's episode. You're going to want to bookmark this episode and come back to it anytime that you find yourself experiencing all of the overwhelming emotions that can come with being a people pleaser, because today we're going to be doing a live practice together. But before we dive into this practice, then I want to introduce you to my friend and colleague, Matt Lengauer. He is the founder of Radiant Souls. He's a certified life coach, Reiki master, and energy healing mentor, and he has felt personally called to help people transform their lives. He has a particular interest in EFT tapping as well as in LGBTQIA plus empowerment and queer spirituality. Ultimately, his goal is to help other people shine their light by breaking free of false identity programming. Matt, welcome. I am so happy that you are here.
So happy to be here. Hello.
Now, before we dive in, can you tell us a little bit about your story? Because I think that my audience is really going to resonate with you.
Yeah. So I grew up very much a people pleaser. I call myself a recovering people pleaser now that I've done a lot of healing work on it. I have always been very sensitive to other people's emotions and felt the obligation to fix their emotions so that I could feel better. And I kind of got trapped in that loop of doing that from a very young age. And then I kept doing it in adulthood, which causes me a lot of interpersonal issues and not getting my needs met. So I did a lot of healing work through energy healing and through tapping specifically. And of course, working with an amazing life coach. So it really kind of got me to reprogram a lot of those beliefs that, I am only worthy and lovable if I am making other people happy and fixing their problems and doing everything that they want me to do, all of that kind of fawning with other people to reduce the tension I was feeling from their emotions.
Oh, goodness. Yes. That we do so much of this because we're trying to release our own tensions, right? That
Yeah.
then we're going to be fawning, we're going to be people pleasing, we're going to be prioritizing everybody else just in an attempt to experience that peace. And I appreciate that you said that this is something that's kind of been with you your whole life. Because I think that for so many people, yeah, it does start in childhood. And it's like, oh, yeah, if I can make mom and dad happy, it's all going to be great. And then recognizing as we get older that, oh my goodness, I'm still doing this in relationships. And this was my childhood coping mechanism. And how can I break free of that? And today we're going to be talking about one very specific tool that you mentioned has been really helpful with this. And yeah, will you tell us what that tool is?
Yeah. So tapping or EFT tapping, there are a lot of different ways to do this. If you looked up tapping videos on YouTube, you would probably get millions, and each person does it a different way. So I specifically do it two different ways. One we're going to do today, where we're trying to just reprogram and incorporate new beliefs by acknowledging the old ones without judgment and kind of letting those go and then incorporating new ones. Kind of, I call it reprogramming. So what we're going to do is touch different parts of our upper body that are pressure points. And this releases a lot of stored energy in our body. And when we're
Mm-hmm.
saying and thinking about these specific beliefs that we have, we're going to be activating that energy and releasing it. So if you think about when you're anxious or in distress or in shock or something, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times we'll touch right here, or we'll
Mm-hmm.
do this, or we rub our face. These are all different pressure points here that we're going to be tapping. So our body already knows and automatically wants us to touch those places to relieve stress. So we're just
Isn't
going to
that
do it
so
today.
amazing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that the body knows and that
The
mind
body
body
knows.
connection. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Because as you know, I work so much with thought work. And I love the idea of combining the thought work with the body work and putting the two together because, we've talked about before here on the podcast that the body keeps the score. And I love that you pointed out that, yeah, we automatically put our hand to our chest to go and gasp for air or rub our temples and think, oh my goodness, what's going on? And
Yes.
that is your body's way of helping you to process those emotions and helping you to release those emotions. So
Yeah.
yeah, tell us more about how does this even work? What is going on when you're tapping?
Yeah. So when we apply pressure to these different points, and this can be done in other ways, that's why people will get acupuncture or acupressure.
Mhm.
It's relieving that energy, and our body is constantly moving energy. And it's not all woo woo. This is science researched and the fact that your brain emits energy. It can be measured. Your heart emits energy. It can be measured. All of this is moving through your body. So what we're going to do is trauma, phobias, limiting beliefs, they get stuck. So by applying pressure in these different places, I'm going to take you through a script that kind of resets what
Mhm.
beliefs you want to incorporate into your system. So
Mhm.
this is one way. When I work one on one with someone, I do it a little bit differently. And we actually
Mhm.
laser focus in onto a specific fear or a limiting belief. And we can measure just like scale of 1 to 10, what does that feel like now? Do a round of tapping. And then what does it feel like post tapping? And we do that. And like, why not use your body's natural way of healing and natural way of relieving stress to like get rid of this in 10 to 20 minutes? I mean, it's such an
Yeah.
easy thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah, and so I've personally used tapping quite a bit. I've noticed for myself, sometimes I'll even just tap on my sternum as I'm driving down the road, as I'm driving and help me to process emotions. But is there anybody that tapping isn't for? Like, is this contraindicated in any way for anybody?
Really, even if someone isn't able to tap on themselves, like,
Mhm.
um, the best example I can give is like trying to get a child to tap. It might not
Mhm.
always be great, but if you can get them to watch you tap on yourself, our neurons
Mhm.
also mirror other
Hmm.
people's energy. So, what relief I'm starting to show myself, the person in front of me watching is going to pick up on that. Just like, I mean, we're all highly sensitive people. We're already picking up on that. So that's one
Yeah.
superpower that we have as highly sensitive people to be able to pick up also on the relief, not just the anxiety.
I love that. And what an amazing tool for a parent to use to help their kids learn how to process emotions or even just anybody, even just sitting with a friend and saying, "Hey, let's tap it
Yeah,
out." It's interesting as I'm working with clients too, and I'm sure that you've experienced this as well, that I also experience the relief as we're working together. It's like,
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah.
And I will say, you don't even have to believe that it works for it to work because a friend of mine who's a big skeptic of anything like
Mhm.
this, she recently did tapping on something for her life recommended by her therapist.
Mhm.
And she said to me, she's like, it shouldn't work, but it does. She's like,
Mm.
I don't understand why it works, but it does. So she just
Mhm.
does it. And, if you if you're feeling the benefits from, it often doesn't matter how you get there.
Yeah. So for you personally or for our listeners, how do you know when you should use tapping?
Anytime you want to relieve yourself, my meter is usually something's frustrating me. Okay, what's
Mhm.
frustrating me about this? And I'm a journaler, so a lot of times I'll start there and I'll be like, okay, there's some like core limiting beliefs here. So
Mhm.
I make YouTube videos for the LGBT
Mhm.
specifically for tapping. And so I will focus in on things that come up a lot for us. So body image, feeling inferior,
Yeah.
religious trauma, feeling outcast, those sorts of issues that our community feels a lot. So I will find, and I just kind of meditate on that and I create a script of
Mhm.
what was the negative stuff coming up and then what is a more realistic belief and then focus on the positive affirmations to tap along.
Yeah. I love that so much because that's been especially helpful for me is when I'm tapping, I have to identify what the problem is and acknowledge where I'm currently at, but I also have to really invest some energy into and how do I want to flip this? Where do I
Yeah.
want to be? What else is true? Like I have to be very intentional about it because like you
Yeah.
said it can be really easy to get stuck in that spiral where we're just kind of all doom and gloom.
Yeah.
And tapping, I think, for me has been so helpful with just shifting it and helping me to move through it and get to the other side so that I
Yeah.
can see things a little bit more clearly.
Yeah. And what's wonderful is you can live with, even if you don't totally believe the new belief, you can live
Mhm.
with it a little bit better and you can practice it a little bit better because the tapping has removed the emotional charge to it. So
Hmm.
it's not erasing memories, it's not erasing your old self. You're not letting that go, but you
Yeah.
can live with it. You can say, okay, yeah, I do kind of have this, but it doesn't really bother me. And then you can
Mm.
focus more on, well, what is going to bring me joy? What is a more realistic, or at least an alternative, like you said, an alternative belief? What else is true?
Yeah. Yeah, and like you said, it's not going to erase it, but it kinda has me thinking. I've talked before about turning up or down the volume on certain thoughts,
Yes.
and it sounds like it's exactly that experience where it's like, "No, this is still a part of me, but I'm not gonna let it just be ringing in my ears 24/7 anymore. It's gonna quiet down a little. I can process it in my body." I think we underestimate how much work is actually done in our body. We think we can
Yes.
just think our ways through it, but really getting in the body, be it through tapping or any other somatic practice, can be so incredibly healing.
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited because Matt has prepared a script specifically for this audience, and I'm so excited about this. So, you had mentioned before that you like to have your clients kind of like rank where they're at on a scale. Should the listeners do that before they start?
So for this particular way of doing it, you don't have to
Mhm.
do that. All you'll
Okay.
really be doing is you'll be following me where I'm tapping,
Okay.
and then you'll just repeat after me, and
Mhm.
I'll try to say it slow so you can repeat, and then if you wouldn't mind, helping out here and repeating after me, and
Yeah.
kinda we'll go at that pace. But
Yeah.
to kinda introduce those tapping the places we're gonna tap real quick, and if you have
Mhm.
glasses, you probably wanna take them off. But we'll start with the inner brow. You can do both sides, or you can just do one side, but the inner brow
Okay.
here, and then the side of the eye, and then under the eye, under the nose, under the mouth, right here at the collarbone where it feels a little sensitive, and then under the arm on the rib, and then we'll finish a cycle up here at the crown.
Okay.
So we'll
And
do
just
that.
really quickly, too, for those that are listening only to the audio, I want to remind you we are also on YouTube. So if you're a visual person, then do that. And if not, just kind of the places that he just mentioned, just kind of flow through those, or you can just tap on your sternum. But I highly encourage you, come and join us on YouTube. I think we look pretty good today. What do you think?
Yes.
Well, let's dive in. I'm excited. Anything else we need to know before we begin?
No, I would just say that we're going to do 3 setup statements as to kind of tell our body what the purpose is, and as we're
Mm-hmm.
saying those, we just tap on the side of our hand here of the
Okay.
karate chop point, as it's called,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll just continue tapping there, and then we'll go through the cycle, and we'll go through it a few times with a bunch of different statements.
Okay. Sounds good.
Alright? So let's begin tapping on our people pleasing statements. So we'll start with the karate chop point here, and you'll just repeat after me.
Okay.
Even though I sometimes feel responsible
Even though I sometimes feel responsible
for others' emotions,
for others' emotions,
I know their emotions are their business, not mine.
I know that their emotions are their business, not mine.
Even though my body and brain
Even though my body and brain
reacts with anxiety around others' emotions,
reacts with anxiety around others' emotions,
I know this is just an old program running,
I know this is just an old program running,
and I am updating it now.
and I am updating it now.
Even though I may feel like a bad person
Even though I may feel like a bad person,
when others are hurt by my boundaries,
when others are hurt by my boundaries,
I know we must each take responsibility
I know we must each take responsibility
for ourselves, and these are just old triggers I'm healing now.
for ourselves, and these are just old triggers that I'm healing now.
Inner brow, I often feel responsible for others' emotions.
I often feel responsible for others' emotions.
Side of the eye, I believed that easing their tension
I believed that easing their tension
under the eye would also ease my tension.
would also ease my tension.
Under the nose. If I can just make their life easier.
If I can just make their life easier,
Under the mouth. Mine will be easier too.
mine will be easier too.
Collarbone. If I say no, it might make it worse.
If I say no, it might make it worse.
Under the arm. I might feel like I failed them.
I might feel like I failed them.
In the crown. And failed myself.
And failed myself.
But now I know better.
But now I know better.
I know this is old conditioning.
I know this is old conditioning.
From family and society.
From family and society.
From experiences that reinforced it.
From experiences that reinforced it.
That it served me well at one point.
That it served me well at one point.
And I'm grateful that it did.
And I'm grateful that it did.
But I have better tools.
But I have better tools.
And I'm upgrading that program now.
And I'm upgrading that programming now.
I know overgiving won't create the connection I seek.
I know overgiving won't create the connection I seek.
I'm choosing not to burn myself out trying.
I'm choosing not to burn myself out trying.
People will be disappointed.
People will be disappointed.
I'll be disappointed in them.
I'll be disappointed in them.
And that's okay.
And that's okay.
I will be living authentically.
I will be living authentically.
Which means the right people will come into my life.
Which means the right people will come into my life.
From now on, only true, authentic connections will form.
From now on, only true, authentic connections will form.
Everything I need to be emotionally safe and strong
Everything I need to be emotionally safe and strong,
is already within me.
it's already within me.
I can tune in anytime I want.
I can tune in anytime I want.
Take the steps I need to take for me,
Take the steps I need to take for me,
and let the chips fall where they may.
and let the chips fall where they may.
After all, I've made it this far.
After all, I've made it this far.
Instead of surviving, I'm now thriving.
Instead of surviving, I'm now thriving.
I am taking care of myself first.
I am taking care of myself first.
I am important.
I am important.
I am now treating myself like I'm important.
I am now treating myself like I'm important.
And I will ask for what I need from others.
And I will ask for what I need from others.
They may not be able to deliver,
They may not be able to deliver,
and that's just more information.
and that's just more information.
It doesn't speak to my character or worth
It doesn't speak to my character or worth,
because my worth is inherent.
because my worth is inherent.
My worth comes from within, not from how much I mean to others.
My worth comes from within, not from how much I mean to others.
Now that I'm upgrading my programming,
Now that I'm upgrading my programming,
people may not like it,
people may not like it.
and I get it.
And I get it.
They're not used to me having boundaries.
They're not used to me having boundaries.
I'll know what to say when the time comes.
I'll know what to say when the time comes.
Because my inner voice has been saying it all along.
Because my inner voice has been saying it all along.
And now I trust it.
And now I trust it.
Now I trust myself.
Now I trust myself.
My sensitivity isn't the problem.
My sensitivity isn't the problem.
My sensitivity is my superpower.
My sensitivity is my superpower.
I am able to sense things quickly.
I am able to sense things quickly.
Sometimes that's uncomfortable,
And sometimes that's uncomfortable,
but it's just information.
but it's just information.
Everyone loves me for my sensitivity.
Everyone loves me for my sensitivity.
That's why these new boundaries will help me and them.
That's why these new boundaries will help me and them.
Because I will love myself first from now on.
Because I will love myself first from now on.
You can drop the arms and take a deep breath and let that out. How does that feel?
Thank you. That was interesting. I mean, as you know, I've been working on this for a while. It was very interesting to see which statements really landed, which ones I
Mhm.
resisted, which ones, I mean, I apologize for laughing in the middle. I just thought, oh yeah, it is going to disappoint people when you state boundaries, but letting go of, I'm going to stop disappointing me. So that was very interesting to just notice which of those statements were still kind of sticking points for me. I think for me personally, I'm definitely going to be re-listening to this, or
Yes,
even looking at the transcript and repeating it for myself and
yes,
sitting with it, because this is a lifelong project, isn't it?
yes, it is. And I would say if there are a few that stand out to you, maybe jot
Mhm.
those down and just do a
Mhm.
whole round just on that.
Yeah.
Um, and if you notice that there are maybe spots that are more sensitive than others, you can stay on
Mhm.
it longer and then just keep going. And yeah, and my only other recommendation afterwards is to, especially with this style of tapping, to repeat
Mhm.
it on
Mhm.
not just more than once, but on different days so that
Yeah.
you're kind of conditioning it into your body. And drink lots of water because this
Yeah.
is a lot of work your body is doing, and hydrating keeps that energy flowing.
Yeah. It's a pretty big emotional detox, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is.
Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting. I don't know if people could hear it, but there were some where I could feel it in my throat, where it was, like, almost hard to say. Like, I wanted to be able to say it and feel into it, but my body was like, "Ooh, that's hard to say." And
Yeah.
those ones, I really felt myself think, "Oh, I just wanna say that one again. I wanna keep saying it until I can say it more freely." Like, I could feel
Yes.
that it was stuck. So, yeah, this was super fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, especially those ones that feel stuck. It was like it was in a tight container and now you've just taken the lid off and now
Mhm.
it's gonna flow. You're there it's
Yeah.
gonna come up throughout the day.
Thank you so much, Matt. I appreciate
Yes.
that.
Thank you for
And
demonstrating it.
yeah, that was super fun. Yeah, so everybody make sure you bookmark this. If you noticed that emotions were coming up for you, if you noticed that some of these were harder for you to say, make sure that you bookmark this episode and come back as many times as you need and just follow along, because there is so much healing to be had by actually taking the time to process this in your body and to rewire your mind so that you can actually truly feel and believe it. Okay, now, Matt, before we go, then I understand that you have an event coming up later this month in northern Utah. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yes, I'm really excited to be presenting at the Energy Healing Conference in Layton, Utah. So, this is their summer conference that is going to be June 19th and 20th. I'll be presenting on the morning of the 19th. It's a Friday. And I'm going to be doing a 50-minute 50 session on a specific way to tap that's different from this one. This is the one
Mhm.
where I get more laser focused on a specific fear. I love this because we get deep into the underlying belief that it's fun for me. to
Mhm.
kind of dig really deep and find out, why am I so afraid of this? So we're going to
Mhm.
work on those. We're going to tap through it. I'm also going to have one-on-one tapping sessions at my booth both days. So I would love it if everyone who is in the area or who wants to fly out there just to come visit me and watch it and get involved.
Awesome. Yeah, well, I know I'm for sure going to be there. I'm so excited to come. This is where Matt and I met a few years ago. Was at the Energy Healing Conference when I was presenting and now he's presenting, and I
Yeah.
am just so excited about it. And Matt also has a link where you can go and get free tickets. I'm going to be putting that in the show notes. So if you're in the area, then we can get you some tickets. And Matt, how can people find you? You have such a wealth of knowledge, and I'm excited you're going to be tapping into those fears and those phobias at the conference because oh my goodness, like, I think about all of the fears that specifically my audience has, the fear of abandonment, the fear of, "Are they not going to like me anymore if I tell them no?" Or, "Who's gonna be upset?" And so, yeah, how can people find you if they want to connect with you further?
Yeah, so I would recommend following me on Instagram and YouTube, Radiant Souls LLC, and my website where you can learn more about me and the work I do and the different services that I offer. We are radiantsouls.com. And I really just want to work with people to help them shine their true light that's within them and just be weird and be you.
Yeah, I love that, and I will be linking all of his contact information in the show notes, so you can just click to check that out. Matt is very entertaining to follow on Instagram, so yes, go and follow him for sure. And Matt, if there was just one message that you wanted my audience to just really take to heart today, what would that be?
There's no urgency and there's no race to work on you. You go at your own pace and just be kind and loving to yourself when you do it. And
Hmm,
you're not on anyone else's timeline but your own.
hmm. I love that, especially for this audience. I love that so much. Great. Well, thank you so much for being here, Matt. And yeah, I'll see everybody next week. Bye now.